So the good news is that people dumber than you are making lots of money on Skool. And the bad news is people dumber than you are making lots of money on Skool. We are literally seeing a shift in the way that people learn, how we share information, and how even online courses are put together. So we're entering a new era of education. And I think it's primed for individuals like you and me and people that have unique skills or have learned things over the years to be able to share that with other people and to be able to potentially monetize it if that's what they want. But for some people, they just want to share their message with the world. But we're seeing a shift because trust and value in terms of the traditional way that education has been done is starting to shift. People aren't necessarily seeing the value financially in what they're getting from traditional learning and schools. You're no longer guaranteed a job if you go to university. Perhaps it still increases your chances, but it's more about learning how to learn now. And then you can go and cherry pick the skills that you need from individuals and private enterprises like you and me serving people out there. And I think this is a massive opportunity, and it's kind of in a way coming back to the old way of doing things, because when I was younger, I remember something about mentorships and also apprenticeships. Now in the UK, apprenticeships were where people who weren't necessarily academic or preferred to do more trades work and so on, maybe working more with their hands versus sort of working in the office. They wanted to do more of the sort of on-the-job learning. They would go and learn things like cabinet making, carpentry, woodwork, building, plumbing, being an electrician, all of these different things. So it's skills of the trade, and they're in-demand skills of the trade. And we had a small group of friends at sort of just school. We were like 16 and we were looking towards our A-levels, which is the next couple of years of education. So it was sort of a higher level of education before university. And we were looking around different education places together as a small group of guys. And we went around at least 3 different colleges for our A-levels to check them out and to see the different ones. And I remember one friend of ours who was always very dedicated at doing different things. He used to go and do a lot of swimming and competitions and did lots of extra stuff outside of school, basically. And I always thought he was very driven. But he sat down with us one day and basically said, listen, guys, I'm not that smart compared to some of you guys. So I've decided I'm not going to go to college. I'm going to do an apprenticeship instead. I'm going to learn to be a cabinet maker, a carpenter. So I think this is what's best for me. I've looked at it. I'm not really going to get the grades, and I just don't really think it's going to be a good match for me. And we were all dumbfounded because I thought he was doing pretty well, and he was in a way, but he was having to work really, really hard and doing all these extra things after school just to be able to vaguely keep up. And he basically went away, and we were like, are you sure you're going to be missing out? You know, you're not going to be at college with the rest of us having fun and so on. So anyways, long story short, he went and did this for a number of years, and we were at college and we having fun and maybe not studying as well as we were, and passing but not really getting that much. And I remember me and another friend, we ended up going into hospitality and becoming managers and doing that type of thing. And he, as a carpenter, started his own business when he was qualified, and he was specializing in cabinet making for bars and restaurants. So while I was working in the bars and restaurants, managing them, he was building them. So who do you think worked out better for afterwards? Well, potentially him, potentially myself. We all have our different journeys. But what I say is that the value of apprenticeships and mentoring is huge. And I think what we're now seeing is, rather than the sort of on an institutional level, back then he would have to go to a trade school for one day of a week to learn some practical stuff. But otherwise it was all on the job. So he would literally partner with a business, and he worked with 1 or 2 guys and just learned there from them directly, one-on-one, on the job, basically working virtually for free, but learning the skill that then obviously potentially has made him millions, who knows, after all this time. And I think what we're seeing now is a shift where we can start to do micro mentoring. So all of the skills that you have and the skills that you've learned, we're not necessarily passing them down as much as we used to in terms of apprenticeships, because a lot of stuff is online now. A lot of stuff is different skills learned in different ways, and we're not training people in the same way. So yes, people can go and get professional apprenticeships still in different places. But what I'm seeing now is a shift in terms of learning from individuals. There's lots of people out there who have skills and knowledge and things that they can share and teach other people so that it can help them with the next step. Like my friend, he basically learned from those people. They taught them exactly what they were doing. He learned the business, he learned the trade, he learned the skills, and he was automatically, when he qualified, was ready. All he had to do was register a business and he could go and start working straight away, where the rest of us had to try and make what we'd learned in college somehow work in the real world. He was actually already in the real world. And it's that real world experience that you have to share that I think on the Skool platform, especially now with the hobbyist and the $9 accounts on Skool, it's a place that you can build an entire business to share your knowledge with people on a particular skill. So I think it's a huge opportunity for a side hustle or a full-time business that if you have something to share with the world, or you would like to start a side hustle and start monetizing knowledge and skills that you've learned over the years, then I think this is a prime opportunity and you should be leveraging it. Don't let self-doubt and everything creep in. If you've done something either in your personal life or your business life, or even if you have a hobby, all of the different skills that you've learned or experiences that you have are potentially things that you can teach others and people will be willing to pay for. So I think Skool is a massive opportunity, especially for mini apprenticeships or mini micro mentoring, that you could monetize it. And if you partnered up with, say, YouTube, and then you're able to send traffic to your Skool community, you could be helping people and making money at the same time. So if you would like more help with that, then we'll link to our free community in the video description, where I'll show you more about Skool and growing your YouTube channel as well. But I think if you've been thinking about starting a Skool community, then this is the time. Now is the time. There's a whole movement happening and you should really be a part of it. All right, I'll see you in the next one.